Hello, my name is Aidan Martins from InPlay, and today I'm going to be following up on the webinar that we did with ePiece, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a custom beacon. So this tutorial applies both to the Ion 100 development kit and also to the low power energy harvesting development kit that we have in partnership with ePiece. Okay, so I have um, three advertising sets here. I'm just going to edit number one here. Let me back out of this page real quick. Okay. So on the first page you will see is advertising data. Out of the advertising data formats, we have iBeacon, Eddystone, and of course custom. So I have already started a custom beacon here. I have a couple different options for what to include on the payload. So the device name, this is the name that you will see on your sniffer or your app. In this case, I've just selected test, and this could be any string of characters. For the TX power level, this is a value which is on the payload, but does not necessarily reflect what the actual TX power level of the device is. So under transmit settings, under global settings, if I click here, you can see I have the TX power level option. So right now I'm at -1 dBm. And so back into the advertising settings, if I was to enable this, you see the default value is 0, but that's not actually what I'm transmitting at. So for the receiver side, I would put -1 to let the receiver know that my transmit power level is -1, for example, if that's something that the application requires the receiver to know. Okay, backing up, I have manufacturer-specific data and user-defined data. So manufacturer-specific data will include information like the customer product ID and the preamble for BLE requirements, while the user-defined data will be completely empty, besides what you directly type in. So if I was to enable only user-defined data, and I back up and click View Raw Advertising Data, I see the name, which is test, and then the VCC bytes that I included on it. And VCC is the voltage, right? And then if I was to use manufacturer-specific data, and then back up and hit View Raw Advertising Data, I see a lot more, right? So I see the length of data variable, complete local name to designate where my name bytes are, and then the additional information I included on there, temperature, as well as the VCC, the voltage, right? Okay, so basically, user-defined data, blank slate you can work with, while manufacturer-specific data includes more of this, the preamble for you. Okay, so just going into manufacturer-specific data, it is the same options in here as you would with the user-defined data. So we have these drop-down menus here, in which you can select different information to put on the payload in any order you would like. So voltage levels, internal temperature sensor value. Also have one wire count, another serial interface, the GPIO information, how many edges have gone in, the GPIO status right now, sensor information from the ADC channels or the I2C slaves, timestamps, advertising counts, reading from a register, generating a random number, information for the encryption or also encrypting raw data. So any of this information can be encrypted, by the way, right? Um, the salt and the tag, so this is the non-salt for decryption purposes, the auth tag for decryption, customer product ID, which is usually 4 to 6 bytes, and this could be any arbitrary value you would like. Bluetooth device address, and we also select support characters in UTF-8 format. So right now, for example, I will include the voltage and the internal temperature. You see I hit append the data to add it to my payload. I can see the length of it that I have, and then I can select its endianness, whether it's encrypted or not, and then whether it is the data that is from a triggered advertising event, or if it's just the data from any advertising event. So I'll just leave it as unselected all of these options at the moment. Okay, I back up. Advertising parameters, I did explain these in brief in the other tutorial on iBeacon, but I will elaborate again. So advertising interval, this is in units of milliseconds. Right now it's 1,000, meaning 1 second, but I can reduce this or increase this as needed. Phi selection, I will select 1 megphi. CTE, this is for constant tone extension for angle of arrival applications, so location tracking. If this is not applicable to you, you do not need to touch this. Advertising random delay, default value is 0 to 10 milliseconds. If you're having more tags in an area for a certain application, you will definitely need to increase this to prevent possible interference of the tags colliding with each other in the air. Advertising channels, we of course have the three primary advertising channels, 37, 38, 39, and I can have any combination of these. Must have at least one. I will just leave as default for all three. Bluetooth device address, we support public, static, and random, right? So static, public, random. For the static address, you can have generated by the PC tool, typed in by the user, or randomly generated on cold boot, so that would be a power cycle, or the first time you program it. And public address, likewise, would just be randomly or manually typed in. And then random address, I have private resolvable and private non-resolvable. I'll keep it static and keep it with the default options of 0 to 6 from the MSB to 0 to 1 at the LSB. Okay. And advertising mode. Right now I have continuous. There are some settings I will cover in another video for having a triggered advertising set. If I back up, I make sure that I'm connected to the right device. So I probe, select the right COM port. I'm on COM 7 with mine. And then I hit connect. I had an error there because I forgot to reset my board, but there we go. I've connected now that I've reset my board. And if I hit run in RAM, there we go. I run in RAM, and we're all good to go. And there you have a custom beacon. Thank you.